Good evening, and welcome to tonight's performance of The Crucible. Before we begin the performance, we ask that you please turn off all cell phones and electronic devices, and remind you that photography, video recording, and any other sort of advanced witchcraft are strictly prohibited. All that do not abide shall hang. There will be a 15-minute intermission between Acts 1 and 2. And now, we take you back in time to 1692. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Salem.
Be hearty soon?
Out of here!
My Betty not going to die.
Out of my sight! Out of my... God help me. Betty, child, dear child, will you wake? Will you open up your eyes? Betty, little one.
Uncle, Susanna Walcott's here from Dr. Griggs.
Oh, the doctor? Let her come, let her come.
Come in, Susanna.
What does the doctor say, child?
Dr. Griggs, he bid me come and tell you, Reverend Sir, that he cannot discover no medicine for it in his books.
Then he must search on.
Aye, sir. He have been searching his books since he left you, sir, but he bid me tell you that you might look to unnatural things for the cause of it.
No, there be no unnatural causes here. Tell him I have sent for Reverend Hale of Beverly, and Mr. Hale will surely confirm that. Let him look to medicine and put out all thought of unnatural causes here. There be none.
Aye, sir. He bid me tell you.
Speak nothing of it in the village, Susanna.
Go directly home and speak nothing of unnatural causes.
Aye, sir. I pray for her.
Uncle, the rumor of witchcraft is all about. I think you'd best go down and deny it yourself. The parlor's packed with people, sir. I'll sit with her.
And what shall I say to them? That my daughter and my niece I discovered dancing like heathen in the forest?
Uncle, we did dance. Let you tell them I confessed it. But they're speaking of witchcraft. Betty's not witched.
Abigail, I cannot go before the congregation when I know you have not opened with me. What did you do with her in the forest?
We did dance, Uncle. And when you leaped out of the bush so suddenly, Betty was frightened, and then she fainted. And there's the whole of it.
Child, sit you down.
I would never hurt Betty. I love her dearly. I would
Now
never...
look you, child. I have no desire to punish you. That will come in its time. But if you traffic with spirits in the forest, I must know it. For surely my enemies will now ruin me with it.
But we never conjured spirits.
Then why could she not move herself since midnight? This child is desperate, Abigail. It must come out. My enemies will bring it out. Let me know what you have done there. Do you understand that I have many enemies?
I know it, Uncle.
There is a faction that has sworn to drive me from my pulpit. Do you understand that?
I think so, sir.
Now then, in the midst of such disruption, my own household is discovered to be the very center of some obscene practice. Abominations are done in the forest.
It were only sport, Uncle.
I saw Tituba waving her arms over the fire when it came upon you. Why was she doing that? And I heard a screeching and gibberish coming from her mouth.
She always sings her Barbados songs, and we dance.
I cannot blink what I saw, Abigail, for my enemies will not blink it. I saw a dress lying in the grass.
A dress?
Aye, a dress. And I thought I saw someone naked running through the trees.
No one was naked. You mistake yourself, Uncle.
I saw it! Now tell me true, Abigail. Now my ministry is at stake. My ministry and perhaps your cousin's life. Whatever abomination you have done there, give me all of it now. For I dare not be taken unaware when I go before them down there.
There's nothing more. I swear it, Uncle.
Abigail, I have fought here for 3 long years to bend these stiff-necked people to me. And now, just now, when there must be some good respect for me in the parish, you compromise my very character. I have given you a home, child. I have put clothes upon your back. Now give me an upright answer. Your name in the town. It's entirely white, is it not?
Why, I'm sure it is, sir. There'd be no blush about my name.
Abigail, is there any other cause other than you have told me for Goody Proctor discharging you? It has troubled me that you are now 7 months out of her house, and in all that time no other family has ever called upon your service.
They want slaves, not such as I. Let them send to Barbados for that. I will not black my face for any of them.
No, I cannot have any. Oh, why, Goody Putnam, come in.
It is a marvel. It is surely a stroke of hell upon you.
No, Goody Putnam,
How high did she fly? How high?
No, she never flew.
Oh, why, sure she did. Mr. Collins saw her going over Ingersoll's barn and come down light as a bird, he says.
Now look you, Goody Putnam, she never... Oh, good morning, Mr. Putnam.
It's a Providence the thing is out now. A Providence.
What's out, sir? What's...
Why, her eyes is closed. Look you, Anne.
Why, that's strange. Ours is open.
Your little Ruth is sick.
Oh, I'd not call it sick. The devil's touch is heavier than sick. It's death, you know. It's death driving into them forked and
Oh,
hooked.
pray not! Why, how does your child ail?
She yells as she must. She never waked this morning, but her eyes open and she walks, hears not, sees not, cannot eat. Her soul is taken surely.
They say you've sent for Reverend Hale of Beverly.
A precaution only. He has much experience in all demonic arts, and I thought...
He has indeed, and found a witch in Beverly last year, and that you remember that.
Now, Goody Ann, they only thought there were a witch, and I'm certain there'd be no element of witchcraft here.
No witchcraft. Now look you, Mr.
Thomas, I pray you leap not to witchcraft. I know that you least of all, Thomas, would ever wish such a disastrous charge laid upon me. We cannot leap to witchcraft. They will hound me out of Salem for such corruption in my house.
Now look you, Mr. Parris. I have taken your part in all contention here, and I would continue. But I cannot if you hold back in this. They're hurtful, vengeful spirits laying hands on these children.
But Thomas, you cannot...
Anne, tell Mr. Parris what you have done.
Reverend Parris, I have laid 7 babies unbaptized in the earth. Believe me, sir, you never saw more hardy babies born. And yet each would wither in my arms the very night of their birth. I have spoke nothing, but my heart is clamored imitations, and this year my Ruth, my only, I see her turning strange. A secret child she has become this year, and shrivels as if a sucking mouth were pulling on her life too. And so I thought to send her to your Tituba.
To Tituba? What made Tituba?
Tituba knows how to speak to the dead, Mr. Parris.
Goody Ann, it is a formidable sin to conjure up the dead.
And I take it on my soul. But who else may surely tell us what person murdered my babies?
Woman!
They are murdered, Mr. Parris! And mark this Ruth, mark it! Last night my Ruth were ever so close to their little spirits, I know it, sir. For how else is she struck dumb now, except some power of darkness would stop her mouth? It is a marvelous sign, Mr. Parris.
Don't you understand it, sir? There is a murdering witch among us bound to keep herself in the dark. Let your enemies make of it what they will. You cannot bring it more.
Then you were conjuring spirits last night.
Not I, sir, not I. Tituba and Ruth.
Now I am undone.
You are not undone! Let you take hold here. Wait for no one to charge you. Declare it yourself. You have discovered witchcraft.
In my house, Thomas. They will topple me with this. They'll make of it a...
Your pardons. We only thought to see how Betty was.
Why aren't you home? Who's with Ruth?
Her grandma come. She's improved a little, I think. She gave a powerful sneeze before.
Oh, there's a sign of life.
I'd fear no more, Goody Putnam. It were a grand sneeze. Another like it will shake her wits together, I'm sure.
Will you leave me now, Thomas? I must pray a while alone.
Uncle, you've prayed since midnight. Why do you not go down?
No. I will wait till Mr. Hale arrives.
And look you, sir. Strike out against the devil, and the village will bless you for it. Go down with them. Pray with them. Speak with them. They're thirsting for your word. Mister, surely you'll pray with them.
I have no stomach for disputation this morning. I will lead them in song, but let you say nothing of witchcraft yet. I will not discuss it. The cause is yet unknown. I have had enough contention since I came, and I want no more.
Mercy, you go home to Ruth. Do you hear?
I'm
If she starts for the window, cry for me at once.
Yes, Uncle.
There is a terrible power in her arms today.
How is Ruth sick?
It's weirdish, I know not. She seems to walk like a dead one since last night.
Has she waked?
No. Betty? Now stop this, Betty.
Wake up, Betty. Wake up right now.
Sit up now.
Have you tried beating her?
Yeah, beat her.
I gave Ruth a good one and it seemed to wake her for a minute. Here, let me have her.
No, he'll be coming up. Now look, you. If they be questioning us, tell them we danced. I told him as much already.
And what more?
He saw you naked.
Naked? Jesus.
What do we do? The whole village is out.
What do we do?
I just come from the farm. The whole country's talking witchcraft. They'll be calling us witches, Abby.
They'll be calling us witches, Abby. She means to tell, I know it.
Abby, we've got to tell. Witchery's a hanging error. A hanging like they done in Boston 2 years ago. Oh, Abby, we must tell the truth. You'll only be whipped for the dancing and the other things.
Oh, we'll be whipped.
I never done none of it, Abby. I only looked.
Oh, you're a good one for looking, aren't you, Mary Warren?
Betty? No, Betty, dear, wake up now. It's Abigail. I'll beat you, Betty. My, you seem improving. I talked to your papa and I told him everything, so there's nothing.
I want my mama!
What ails you, Betty? Your mama's dead and buried.
I'll fly to mama! Let me fly!
I told him everything. He knows now. He knows everything now.
You drank blood, Abby! You drank blood!
Betty, you never do that again.
You did! You did! You drank a charm to kill John Proctor's wife! You drank a charm to kill Goody Proctor!
Shut it! Shut it!
Mama!
Look, you, all of you, we danced. And Tituba conjured Ruth Putnam's dead sisters, and that is all. And mark this. Let any of you breathe a word, or the edge of a word about the other things, and I will come to you in the black of some terrible night, and I will bring a pointy reckoning that will shudder you. And you know I can do it. I saw Indians smash my dear parents' heads on the pillow next to mine. I've seen some reddish work done at night. I can make you wish you had never seen the sun go down.
Mama!
Now you sit up and stop this!
What's got her? Oh, Abby, she's going to die! It's a sin to conjure!
I said it, Mary Warren!
Oh, I'm just going home, Mr. Proctor.
Be you foolish, Mary Warren? Be you deaf? I forbid you leave the house, did I not? Why shall I pay you? I am looking for you more often than my cows.
I only come to see the great doings in the world.
I'll show you a great do-one on the arse one of these days. Now get you home. My wife is waiting with your work.
We'd best be off. I have my Ruth to watch. Good morning, Mr. Proctor.
She's only gone silly somehow. She'll come out of it.
So she flies, eh? What are her wings?
John, sure you're not believing she flies.
The road past my house is a pilgrimage to Salem all morning. The town's mumbling witchcraft.
Oh, posh. We were dancing in the woods last night, and my uncle leaped in on us. She took fright is all.
Dancing by moonlight. You'll be collecting the stalks before you're 20.
Give me a word, John. A soft word.
No, Abby, I've not come for that.
You come 5 miles to see a silly girl fly? I know you better.
I come to see what mischief your uncle's brewing now. Put it out of mind, Abby.
John, I am waiting for you every night.
Abby, I'll not be coming for you more. You'll put it out of mind.
You're surely sporting with me.
You know me better.
I know how you clutched my back behind your house and sweated like a stallion whenever I come near. I saw your face when she put me out, and you loved me then, and you do now.
Abby, that's a wild thing to say.
A wild thing may say wild things. I have seen you since she put me out. I have seen you nights.
I've hardly stepped off my farm this 7 month.
I have a sense for heat, John, and yours has drawn me to my window. Do you tell me you've never looked up at my window?
Perhaps I have.
I know you, John. I know you. I cannot sleep for dreaming. I cannot dream, but I wake and walk about the house as though I'd find you coming through some door.
Child.
How do you call me child?
Abby! I may think of you softly from time to time, but I'll cut off my hand before I reach for you again. Put it out of mind. We never touched, Abby.
Aye, but we did.
Aye, we did not.
Oh, I marvel how such a strong man may let such a sickly wife...
You'll speak nothing of Elizabeth.
She is blackening my name in the village. She is telling lies about me. She is a cold, sniveling woman, and you bend to her. Let her turn you like...
Do you look for a whipping?
I look for John Proctor. That put knowledge in my heart. I never knew what pretense Salem was. I never knew the lying lessons I was taught by all these Christian women and their covenanted men. And now you bid me tear the light out of my eyes? I will not. I cannot. You loved me, John Proctor. And whatever sin it is, you love me yet. John, pity me. Pity me.
What ails you, girl? What's got her?
What happened? What are you doing to her? Betty!
She heard you singing and suddenly she's up and screaming.
The psalm, she cannot bear to hear the Lord's name.
No, God forbid!
Mark it for a sign, mark it!
There's a notorious sign of witchcraft afloat. A prodigious sign!
My mother told me that, when they cannot bear to hear the name of the Lord. it is a
Rebecca, will you come to her? We're lost. She suddenly cannot bear to hear the Lord's name. There is a heart sickness here, Giles Corey, so please to keep the quiet.
I've not said a word. No one here can testify I've said a word. Is she going to fly again? I hear she flies.
Man, be quiet!
What have you done?
Pray. Calm yourselves. I have 11 children, and I'm 26 times a grandma. And I have seen them all through their silly seasons. And when it come on them, they will run the devil bow-legged, keeping up with their mischief. I think she'll wake when she tires of it. A child's spirit is like a child. You can never catch it by running after it. You must stand still. And for love, it will soon itself come back.
Aye, that's the truth of it, Rebecca.
This is no silly season, Rebecca. My Ruth is bewildered, Rebecca. She cannot eat.
Perhaps she is not hungered yet. Mr. Parris, I hope you are not decided to go in search of loose spirits. I've heard promise of that outside.
Wide opinions running in the parish that the devil may be among us, and I would satisfy them that they are wrong.
And let you come out and call them wrong. Are you our minister or Mr. Hale? Did you consult the wardens of this church before you called this minister in to look for devils?
He's not coming to look for devils.
And what's he coming for?
There are children dying in the village, Mr.
I
Proctor.
see none dying.
Pray, John. Be calm. Mr. Parris, I think you'd best send Reverend Hale back as soon as he come. This will set us all to arguing again in the society. And we thought to have peace this year. I think we ought rely on Dr. Griggs now. And good prayer.
Rebecca, the doctor's baffled.
If so he is, then let us go to God for the cause of it. There is prodigious danger in the seeking of loose spirits. I fear it. I fear it. Let us rather blame ourselves.
How may we blame ourselves? I am one of 9 sons. The Putnam seed has peopled this province. Yet I have 1 child left of 8. And now she shrivels.
I cannot fathom that, but
You think it God's work? That you should never lose a child, nor a grandchild either, and I bury all but one.
When Reverend Hale comes, you will proceed to look for signs of witchcraft.
You cannot command, Mr. Parris. We vote by name in the society, not by acreage.
I do not recall you so concerned on the society, Mr. Proctor. In fact, I do not think I've seen you at Sabbath meeting since snow flew.
I have trouble enough that I come 5 miles to hear him preach only hellfire and bloody damnation. There are many of us that stay away from church these days because he hardly ever mentioned God anymore.
Why, that's a drastic charge.
it's somewhat true. There are many that quail to bring their children.
I do not
here.
preach for children, Rebecca. It's not children who are unmindful of their obligation toward this ministry. Where is my wood? My contract provides I be supplied with all my firewood, and I'm waiting since November for a stick. And even in November, I had to show my frostbitten hands like some London beggar.
You are allowed £6 a year for your wood, Mr. Parris.
I am paid little enough without I spend £6 on firewood. The salary is £66, Mr. Proctor. I am not some preaching farmer with a book under my arm. I'm a graduate of Harvard College.
Aye, and well instructed in mathematics.
Mr. Corey, you will look far for a man of my kind at £60 a year. I am not used to this poverty. I left a thrifty business in the Barbados to serve the Lord. I do not fathom it. Why am I persecuted here? I cannot offer one proposition, but to be a howling riot of argument. I have often wondered if the devil may be in it somewhere. I cannot understand you people otherwise.
Mr. Parris, you are the first minister ever to demand the deed to this house.
I am your 3rd preacher in 7 years. I do not wish to be put out like the cat whenever some majority feels the whim. You people seem not to comprehend that a minister is the Lord's man in the parish. The minister is not to be so lightly crossed and contradicted.
Aye.
There's either obedience or the church will burn like hell is burning.
Can you speak 1 minute without we land in hell again? I am sick of hell.
It is not for you to say what is good for you to hear,
You
Mr.
may
Proctor.
speak my heart, I think.
What are we, Quakers? We are not Quakers here yet, Mr. Proctor. And may you tell that to your followers.
My followers.
There is a party in this church. I am not blind. There is a faction and a party.
Against you?
Against him and all authority.
Why? I must find it and join it.
He does not mean that.
I mean it solemnly, Rebecca. I like not the smell of this authority. I have a crop to sow and lumber to drag home. What say you, Giles? Let's find that party. He says there was a party.
I've changed my opinion of this man. Mr. Parris, I beg your pardon. I never knew you had so much iron in you.
Why, thank you, Giles.
Suggests the mind what trouble be among us all these years. Think on it. Wherefore everyone is suing everybody else. I have 6 times been in court this year.
Is it the devil's fault a man may not say you good morning, that you clap him for defamation? You're old, Giles, and you're not hearing as well as you did.
John Proctor, I have only last month collected 4-pound damages from you, claiming I burned the roof off your house, and
I
I
never said no such thing, but I paid you for it, so I hope I can call you deaf without charge. Come along, Giles, and help me drag my lumber home.
Pray, someone take these.
Mr. Hale! Oh, it is good to see you again. My, they're heavy.
They must be. They're weighted with authority.
Well, you do come prepared.
We shall need a hard study if it comes down to tracking the old boy. You cannot be Rebecca Nurse.
I am, sir. Do you know me?
It's strange how I knew you. But I suppose you look as such a good soul should. We've all heard of your great charities in Beverly.
Do you know this gentleman? Mr. Thomas Putnam and his good wife, Anne.
Putnam, I had not expected to see such distinguished company, sir.
Does not seem to help us today. Mr. Hale, look for you to come to our house and save our child.
Your child ails too?
Oh, her soul. Her soul seems flown away. She sleeps and yet she walks.
She cannot eat.
Cannot eat. Do you men also have afflicted children?
No, these are farmers. John Proctor.
you don't believe in witches.
I never spoke one way or the other on witches. Will you come now, Giles?
No, John, I think not. I have some few queer questions of my own to ask this fellow.
Mr. Hale, I've heard you be a sensible man. I hope you'll leave some of it in Salem.
Will you look at my daughter, sir? She has tried to leap out the window. We discovered her this morning, waving her arms, standing on the high road as though she'd fly.
Tries to fly?
She cannot bear to hear the Lord's name. Mr. Hale, that's a sure sign of witchcraft afoot.
No. Now let me instruct you. We cannot look to superstition in this. The devil is precise, and the marks of his presence are definite as stone, and we must only look for his proper signs and judge nothing beforehand. And I must tell you that I shall not proceed unless you are prepared to believe me, if I should find no trace of hell in this.
It is agreed, sir. It is agreed. We will abide by your judgment.
Good then. Now, sir, what were your first warnings of this strangeness?
Why, sir, I discovered her and my niece Abigail and 10 or 12 other girls dancing in the forest last night.
You permit dancing?
No, we're secret.
Mr. Parris is slave at knowledge of conjuring, sir.
We cannot be sure of that, Goody Anne.
I know it, sir. I sent my child. She should learn from Tituba who murdered her sisters.
Goody Anne! You sent a child to conjure up the dead?
Let God blame me. Not you, Rebecca! I'll not have you judging me anymore. Mr. Hale is in a natural work to lose 7 children before they live a day.
7 dead at childbirth?
What book is this, sir?
What's there, sir?
Here is all the invisible world, caught, defined, and calculated. In these books, the devil stands stripped of all of his brute disguises. Here are all your familiar spirits. Your incubi and succubi, your witches that go by land, by air, by sea, your wizards of the night and of the day. Have no fear now. We shall find him out if he has come among us. And I mean to crush him utterly if he has shown his face.
Will it hurt the child, sir?
I cannot tell. If she is truly in the devil's grip, we may have to rip and tear to get her free.
I think I'll go then. I am too old for this.
Why, Rebecca, we may open up the boil of all of our troubles today.
Let us hope for that. I go to God for you, sir.
I hope you do not mean that we go to Satan here.
I wish I knew.
Come, Mr. Hale. Let's get on with it.
Mr. Hale, I've always wanted to ask a learned man, what signifies the reading of strange books?
What books?
I cannot tell, she hides them.
Who does this?
Martha, my wife. I've often awoken at night to find her in a corner reading of a strange book. Now what do you make of it?
Well, that's not necessarily.
Discomfits me. Mark this. Last night, I tried and could not say my prayers. And then, she closed her book, walk out of the house, and suddenly, mark this. I can pray again.
The stoppage of prayer. That is strange. I'd like to speak further on that with you.
I'm not saying she's touched by the devil now, but I'd like to know what books she reads and why she reads them. She's not answering me, you see.
All right, we'll discuss it. Now, mark me. If the devil is in her, we may witness some frightful wonders in this room. So please, keep your wits about you. Mr. Putnam, stand close in case she flies. Now, Betty dear, will you sit up? Can you hear me? I am John Hale, minister of Beverly. I've come to help you, dear. Do you remember my 2 little girls in Beverly?
How can it be the devil? Why would he choose my house to strike?
Why, what a victory the devil would have to win a soul already had. It is the best the devil wants. And who better than the minister?
That's deep, Mr. Hale. Deep.
Does someone afflict you, child? It need not be woman, mind you, or man. Perhaps some bird, invisible to others, comes to you. Perhaps a pig, or any beast at all. Is there some figure bids you fly? In nomine Domini, sabaoth sweet felici ad infernus. Abigail, what sort of dancing were you doing with her in the forest?
Why, common dancing is all.
I think I ought to say that I saw a kettle in the grass where they were dancing.
That were only soup.
Soup? What sort of soup were in this kettle, Abigail?
Why, it were beans and lentils, I think.
Mr.
and-
Parris, you did not notice, did you, any sort of living thing in the kettle? A mouse, perhaps, a spider, a frog.
That frog jumped in. We never put it in.
A frog, Abby?
We never put it in.
Abigail, it may be your cousin is dying. Did you call the devil last night?
I never called him. Tituba called him.
She called the devil?
I'd like to speak with Tituba.
Good again, will you bring her up?
How did she call him?
I know not. She spoke Barbados.
Did you notice any strangeness when she called him? A sudden cold wind, perhaps? A trembling below the ground?
I didn't see no devil. Betty, wake up, Betty, Betty.
You cannot evade me, Abigail. Did your cousin drink any of the brew in that kettle?
She never drank it.
Did you drink it?
No, sir.
Did Tituba ask you to drink it?
She tried, but I refused.
Why are you concealing? Have you sold yourself to Lucifer?
I never sold myself. I'm a good girl. I did drink of the kettle. She made me do it. She made Betty do it. Abby, she makes me drink blood.
Blood?
My baby's blood. No, chicken blood. I give she chicken blood.
Woman, have you enlisted these children with the devil?
I don't drink with the devil, sir.
Why can she not wake? Are you silencing this child?
I left me, Betty.
You have sent your spirit upon this child, have you not? Are you gathering souls for the devil?
She sent her spirit on me at church. She make me laugh at prayer.
She have often laughed at prayer.
She comes to me every night to go and drink blood.
You make me to conjure, Abby. She make me make charm.
I'll tell you something. She comes to me while I sleep. She's always making me dream corruption.
Abby!
Sometimes I wake and find myself standing in an open doorway and not a stitch on my body. I always hear her laughing in my sleep. I hear her singing her Barbados song.
Mr. Reverend,
Tituba, I want you to wake this child.
I have no power on this child, sir.
You most certainly do. And you will loose her from it now. When did you compact with the devil?
I don't come back to the devil.
You'll confess yourself, or I'll take you out and whip you to death, Tituba!
This woman must be hanged! She must be taken and hanged!
No, don't like Tituba, please. I tell him I don't desire to work for him.
Who? The devil? Now, Tituba, I know that when we bind ourselves to hell, it is very hard to break with it entirely. We will help you tear yourself free. You would be a good Christian woman, would you not, Tituba?
I, sir, a good Christian woman.
And you love these little children?
Yes, sir. I don't desire to hurt little children.
And you love God, Tituba?
I love God with all my being.
Now, in God's holy name.
Bless him. Bless him.
And to his glory.
Eternal glory. Bless him. Bless God.
Open yourself, Tituba. Open yourself and let God's holy light shine on you.
Oh, bless the Lord.
When the devil comes to you, does he come with another person? Perhaps another person in the village. Someone you know.
Who came with him?
Sarah Good? Did you see Sarah Good with the devil? Or Osborne?
Was it a man or woman came with him?
Was woman.
What woman? A woman, you said. What woman?
It was black dark and
You could see him. Why can you not see her?
They was always talking. They was always running around and carrying on.
You mean out of Salem?
I believe so,
Salem
yes, sir.
witches.
You must have no fear to tell us who they are. Do you understand? We will protect you. The devil can never overcome a minister. You know that, do you not?
Aye, sir, I do.
You have confessed yourself to witchcraft. And that speaks a wish to come to heaven's side. And we will bless you, Tituba.
God bless you, Mr. Hale.
You are God's instrument, put in our hands to help us discover the devil's agents among us. You are selected, Tituba. You are chosen to help us cleanse our village. So speak utterly, Tituba. Speak utterly and turn your back on men. Face God, Tituba. Face God, and God will protect you.
God protect Tituba.
Who comes to you with the devil? 2, 3, 4, how many?
There was 4.
Who? Who? Their names! Their names!
How many times he bid me kill you, Mr. Parris!
Kill me?
He say Mr. Parris must be killed! Mr. Parris, no goodly man.
Mr. Parris, mean man and no gentleman, and he bid me rise out of my bed and cut your throat. I tell him no, I don't hate that man, I don't want to kill that man. But he say, you work for me, Tituba, and I make you free. I give you pretty dress to wear, and I put you way high up in the air, and you go and fly back to Barbados. And I say, you lie, devil, you lie. And then he come one stormy night to me, and he say, look, I have white people belong to me. And I look, and there was Goody Good.
Sarah Good.
Aye, sir, and Goody Osborne.
I knew it. Osborne were my wife to me 3 times. I begged you, Thomas, did I not? I begged him not to call Osborne because I feared her. My baby's always shriveled in her hands.
Take courage. You must give us all their names. How can you bear to see these children suffering, Tituba? Look at them. Look at their God-given innocence. Their souls are so tender. We must protect them. The devil is out and preying upon them like the beast upon the flesh of the pure lamb. God will bless you for your help.
I want to open myself. I want the light of God. I want the sweet love of Jesus. I danced for the devil. I saw him. I wrote in his book. I go back to Jesus. I kiss his hand. I saw Sarah Good with the devil. I saw Goody Osborne with the devil. I saw Bridget Bishop with the devil.
I saw George Jacobs with the devil. I saw Goody Hale with the devil.
She speaks! She speaks! Glory to God, it is broken, they are free!
I saw Martha Bellows with the devil. I saw Alice Barrow with the
Marsh!
devil. I saw Goody
Marshall,
Pike
get
with
the
the devil.
Marshall!
I saw Goody Cobb with the devil. I saw Goody Hopper with the devil. I saw George Jacobs with the devil. I saw Goody Howe with the devil. I saw Martha Bellows with the devil. I saw Alice Barrow with the devil.
What keeps you so late? It's almost dark.
I were planting far out to the forest edge.
Ah, you're done then.
Aye. The farm is seated. The boys asleep.
They will be soon.
Are now for a fair summer.
Aye,
Are you well today?
I am. It is a rabbit.
Oh, is it? In Jonathan's trap?
No. She walked in the house this afternoon. I found her sitting in the corner like she'd come for a visit.
That's a good sign walking in.
Pray God. It hurt my heart to strip her, poor rabbit.
Oh, it is well seasoned.
I took great care. She's tender.
Aye. I think we'll see green fields soon. It's as warm as blood beneath the clouds.
That's well.
If the crop is good, I'll buy you George Jacobs' heifer. How would that please you?
Aye, it would.
I mean to please you, Elizabeth.
I know it, Sean.
Cider?
Aye.
This farm's a continent when you get foot by foot dropping seeds in it.
It must be.
On Sunday, let you come with me, and we'll walk the farm together. I never see such a load of flowers on the earth. Massachusetts is a beauty in the spring.
Aye. It is.
I think you're sad again. Are you?
You'd come home so late, I thought you'd gone to Salem this afternoon.
Why? I have no business in Salem.
You did speak of going earlier this week.
I thought better of it since.
Mary Warren's there today.
Why'd you let her? You heard me forbid her go to Salem anymore.
I couldn't stop her.
It is a fault. It is a fault, Elizabeth. You're the mistress here, not Mary Warren.
She frightened all my strength away.
Now may that mouse frighten you,
It
Elizabeth.
is no mouse no more. I forbid her go. And she raises up her chin like the daughter of a prince and say to me, I must go to Salem, Goody Proctor, for I am an official of the court.
Court? What court?
Aye, it's a proper court they have now. They've sent 4 judges out of Boston, weighty magistrates of the general court. And at the head sit the deputy governor of the province.
Why, she's mad.
I would to God she were. There be 14 people in the jail now, she says, and they'll be tried. And the court will have power to hang them too, she says.
Ah, they'd never hang.
The deputy governor promised hanging if they'll not confess, John. The town's gone wild, I think. Mary Warren speaks of Abigail as though she were a saint to hear her. And she brings the girls into court, and where they walk, the crowd will part like the sea for Israel. And when folk are brought up to stand, and Abigail scream and howl and fall to the floor, the person's clapped in the jail for bewitching her.
Oh, it's a black mischief.
I think you must go to Salem, John. I think so. You must tell them it is a fraud.
Aye, it is surely.
Let you go to Ezekiel Cheever. He knows you well. And tell him what she said to you in her uncle's house last week. She said it had naught to do with witchcraft, did she not?
Aye, she did.
God forbid you keep that from the court, John. I think they must be told.
Aye, they must. It is a wonder they do believe her.
I would go to Salem now, John. Let you go tonight.
I'll think on it.
You cannot keep this, John.
I know I cannot keep it. They say I will think on it.
Good, then. Let you think on it.
I am only wondering how I may prove what she told me. If the girl's a saint now, I think it is not easy to prove she's fraud, and the town gone so silly. She told it to me in a room alone. I have no proof of it.
You were alone with her.
For a moment alone. Aye.
Why, then it is not as you told me.
For a moment, I say. The others come in soon after.
Do as you wish, then.
Woman, I'll not have your suspicion anymore.
I'll
not have it!
Then let you not earn it.
You doubt me yet.
John, if it were not Abigail that you must go to hurt, would you falter now? I think not.
Now
I see what I see, John.
you will not judge me more, Elizabeth. I have good reason to think before I charge fraud on Abigail, and I will think on it. Let you look to your own improvement before you go to judge your husband more. I have forgot Abigail.
And I.
Spare me! You forgive nothing and forget nothing. Learn charity, woman. I have gone tiptoe in this house all 7 months since she is gone. I have not moved from there to there without I think to please you, and still an everlasting funeral marches round your heart. I cannot speak, but I am doubted. Every moment judged for lies as though I come into a court when I come into this house.
John, you are not open with me. You saw her with a crowd, you said. Now you...
I'll plead my honesty.
John, I am only...
No more! I should have roared you down when I first heard your suspicion. But I wilted, and like a Christian, I confessed. Some dream I had must have mistaken you for God that day. But you're not. You're not! Let you remember it. Let you look sometimes for the good in me, and judge me not.
I do not judge you. The magistrate sits in your heart that judges you. I never thought you but a good man, John. Only somewhat bewildered.
Oh, Elizabeth, your justice would freeze beer. How do you go to Salem when I forbid it? Do you mock me? I'll whip you if you dare leave this house again.
I am sick. I am sick, Mr. Proctor. Pray, pray, hurt me not. My insides are all shuddery. I am in the proceedings all day, sir.
And what of these proceedings here? When will you proceed to keep this house as you are paid £9 a year to do, and my wife not wholly well?
I made a gift for you today, Goody Proctor. I had to sit long hours in the chair and pass the time with sewing.
Why, thank you. It's a fair puppet.
We must all love each other now, Goody Proctor.
Aye, indeed we must.
I'll get up early in the morning and clean the house. I must sleep now.
Mary, is it true there be 14 women arrested?
No, sir. There be 39 now.
Why, she's weeping. What ails you, child?
Goody Osborne will hang.
Aye, Hang, you say?
I...
The deputy governor will permit it.
He sentenced her. He must. But not Sarah Good. For Sarah Good confessed, you see.
Confessed? To what?
That she sometimes made a compact with Lucifer and wrote her name in his black book with her blood and bound herself to torment Christians till God's thrown down and we all must worship hell forevermore.
But surely you know what a jabberer she is. Did you tell them that?
Mr. Proctor, in open court, she near choked us all to death.
How choked you?
She sent her spirit out.
Oh, Mary, surely...
She tried to kill me many times, Goody Proctor.
Why, I never heard you mention that before.
I never knew it before. I never knew anything before. When she come into court, I say to myself, I must not accuse this woman. For she sleeps in ditches and is so very old and poor. But then she sat there, denying, and I feel a misty coldness climbing up my back. And the skin of my skull begins to creep. And I feel a clamp around my neck and I cannot breathe air. And then I hear a voice. A screaming voice. And it were my voice. And all at once, I remember everything she'd done to me.
Why? What did she do to you?
So many times, Mr. Proctor, she'd come to this very door, begging bread and a cup of cider. And mark this, whenever I turned her away empty, she mumbled.
Mumbled? She may mumble hungry.
But what does she mumble? Oh, you must remember it, Goody Proctor. Last month, a Monday, I think, she walked away and I thought my guts would burst for 2 days after. Do you remember it?
Why, I do, I think.
And so I told that to Judge Hathorne, and he asks her so. Goody good, says he. What curse do you mumble that this girl must fall sick after turning you away? And then she replies, why, Your Excellence, no curse at all. I only say my commandments. I hope I may say my commandments, says she.
And that's an upright answer.
Aye. But then Judge Hathorne say, recite for us your commandments. And out of all 10, she could not say a single one. She never knew no commandments, and they had her in a flat lie.
And so condemned her.
Why, they must when she condemned herself.
But the proof.
I told you the proof. It's hard proof, hard as a rock, the judges said.
You're not going to court again, Mary Warren.
I must tell you, sir, I will be gone every day now. I am amazed you do not see what weighty work we do.
What work you do. It's strange work for a Christian girl to go to hang old women.
But Mr. Proctor, they will not hang them if they confess. Sarah Good will only sit in jail sometime. And here's a marvel for you. Think on this. Goody Good is pregnant.
Pregnant? Are they mad? The woman's near to 60.
They had Dr. Griggs examine her, and she's full to the brim. And smoking a pipe all these years, and no husband either. But she's safe, thank God. Will not hurt the innocent child. But be that not a marvel? You must see it, sir. It's God's work we do. So I will be gone every day for some time now. I am an official of the court, they say, and
I'll official.
I'll not stand whipping anymore. The devil's loose in Salem, Mr. Proctor. We must discover where he's hiding.
I'll whip the devil out of you.
I saved her life today.
I am accused.
You are somewhat mentioned, but I told them I never seen no sign you ever sent your spirit out to hurt no one. And seeing I do live so closely with you, they dismissed me.
Who accused me?
I am bound by law. I cannot tell it. I hope you'll not be so sarcastical no more. 4 judges and a king's deputy sat to dinner with us but an hour ago. I would have you speak civilly to me from this out.
Go to bed.
I'll not be ordered to bed no more, Mr. Proctor. I am 18 and a woman, however single.
Do you wish to sit up? Then sit up.
I wish to go to bed.
Good night, then.
Good night.
Oh, the noose is up.
There'll be no
She
noose.
wants me dead. I knew all week you would come to this. What if tomorrow she will cry me out until they take me?
Sit down.
She wants me dead, John. You know it.
I say sit down, Elizabeth. Now we must be wise.
Oh, indeed, indeed.
Fear not. I'll go to Ezekiel Cheever. I'll tell him she said it were all sport.
John, with so many in the jail, more than is needed now, I think, would you favor me with this? Go to Abigail.
What have I to say to Abigail?
John, grant me this. You have a faulty understanding of young girls. There is a promise made in any bed. Spoke or silent, a promise is surely made. And she may dote on it now. I am sure she does, and thinks to kill me, then to take my place. It is her dearest hope, John, I know it. There be 1,000 names, why does she call mine? There be a certain danger in calling such a name. For I am no goody-good that sleeps in ditches, nor Osborne drunken half-witted. She dare not call out such a farmer's wife, lest there be monstrous profit in it. She thinks to take my place, John.
She cannot think
John, have
it.
you ever shown her somewhat of contempt? She will not pass you in church, but you will blush.
I may blush for my sin.
I think she see another meaning in that blush.
And what see you? What see you, Elizabeth?
I think you be somewhat ashamed. For I am there, and she's so close.
When will you know me, woman? Were I stone, I would have cracked for shame in the 7
Then
months.
go and tell her she's a whore! Whatever promise she may sense, break it, John, break it.
Good then, I'll go.
Oh, how unwillingly.
I will curse her hotter than the oldest cinder in hell. Fear nothing. But pray, begrudge me not my anger.
Your anger, I only
Woman! Am I so base? Do you truly think me base?
I never called you base.
Then how do you charge me with such a promise? This promise that a stallion gives a mare, I gave that girl.
Then why do you anger with me when I bid you break it?
Because it speaks deceit, and I am honest. But I'll plead no more. I see how your spirit twists around the single error of my life, and I will never tear it.
You'll tear it free when you come to know that I will be your only wife. Or no wife at all. She has an arrow in you yet, John Proctor. And you know it well.
Good evening.
Why, Mr. Hale?
I hope I did not startle you.
No. It's only that we heard no horse.
You're a good wife, Proctor.
Aye, Elizabeth.
Hope you're not off to bed yet.
No. Let you come in, Mr. Hale. We are not used to visitors after dark, but you are welcome here. Let you sit down, Mr. Hale.
I will. Let you sit, good wife, Proctor.
Will you drink cider, Mr. Hale?
No, it rebels my stomach. I have some further traveling yet tonight. Sit you down, sir. I'll not keep you long, but I have some business with you.
Business of the court.
No, I've come for my own, without the court's authority. Now, hear me. I know not if you are aware, but your wife's name is mentioned in court.
We know it, sir. Our Mary Warren told us. We are entirely amazed.
I'm a stranger here, as you know. And in my ignorance, I find it hard to draw a clear opinion of them who come accused in front of the court. So, this afternoon, and now tonight, I go from house to house. I've just now come from Rebecca Nurse's house.
Rebecca's charged.
God forbid such a one be charged. She's, however, somewhat mentioned.
You will never believe, I hope, that Rebecca trafficked with the devil.
Woman, it is possible.
But surely you cannot think it.
This is a strange time, mister. No man may longer doubt the powers of the dark gathered in monstrous attacks upon the village. There's too much evidence now to deny it. You will agree, sir?
I have no knowledge in that line, but it is hard to think that so pious a woman will be secretly a devil's bitch after 70 years of such good prayer.
Aye. The devil is a wily one. You cannot deny it. However, she's far from accused, and I know she will not be. I thought, sir, to put some question as to the Christian character of this house, if you will permit me.
Why, we have no fear of questions, sir.
Good then. Now, in the book of record that Mr. Parris keeps, I note that you are rarely in church on Sabbath day.
No, sir, you are mistaken.
Only 26 times in 17 months, sir. I must call that rare. Will you tell me why you are so absent?
Mr. Hale, I never knew that I must account to that man whether I come to church or stay home. My wife was sick this winter.
So I'm told. You, mister, why could you not come alone?
I surely did come when I could, and when I could not, I prayed in this house.
Your house is not a church. Your theology must tell you that.
It does, it does. And it tells me that a minister may pray to God without he have golden candlesticks upon the altar.
What golden candlesticks?
Since we built the church, there were pewter candlesticks upon the altar. Francis Nurse made them, you know, and a sweeter hand never touched the metal. But Mr. Parris came, and for 20 weeks he preached nothing but golden candlesticks until he had them. I labored the earth from dawn of day to blink of night, and I tell you true, sir, when I look to heaven and see money glaring at his elbows, it hurt my prayer, sir. It hurt my prayer.
And yet,
I think sometimes the man dreams cathedrals, not clapboard meeting houses.
And yet, a Christian on Sabbath day must be in church. Tell me, you have 3 children.
Aye, boys.
How come it is only that 2 are baptized?
I like it not that Mr. Parris should lay his hand upon my baby. I see no light of God in that man. I'll not conceal it.
I must say it, Mr. Proctor, that is not for you to decide. The man is ordained. Therefore, the light of God is in him.
What's your suspicion, Mr. Hale?
No, I have no...
I nailed the roof upon the church. I hung the door.
Oh, did you? That's a good sign.
It may be, but I've been too quick to bring the man to book, but surely you cannot think we ever desired the destruction of religion. I think that's on your mind, is it not?
There's a softness in your record, sir. A softness.
I think maybe we have been too hard on Mr. Parris. I think so. But surely we never loved the devil here.
Do you know your commandments, Elizabeth?
I surely do. There be no mark of blame upon my life, Mr. Hale. I'm a covenanted Christian woman.
And you, mister?
I'm sure I do.
Let you repeat them, if you will.
The commandments.
Aye.
Thou shalt not kill.
Aye.
Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods, nor make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord in vain. Thou shalt remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Thou shalt honor thy father and mother. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
You've said that twice, sir.
Aye.
Adultery, John.
Aye. You see, between the two of us, we surely do know them all. I think it'd be a small fault.
Theology, sir, is a fortress. No crack in a fortress may be accounted small.
There be no love for Satan in this house, sir.
I pray it. I pray it dearly. Well then, I bid you good night.
Mr. Hale, I do think you are suspecting me somewhat, are you not?
Goody Proctor, I do not judge you. My duty is to add what I can to the godly wisdom of the court. I wish you both good health and good fortune. Good night.
I think you must tell him, John.
What's that?
Will you tell him?
I have no witness and cannot prove it except that my word be taken, but I know that children's sickness had naught to do with witchcraft.
Not to do?
They were discovered by Mr. Parris sporting in the woods. They were startled and took sick.
Who told you this?
Abigail Williams.
Abigail.
Aye.
Abigail Williams said it not to do with witchcraft.
She told me on the day you came, sir.
Why did you keep this from me?
I never knew until tonight the world has gone daft with this nonsense.
Nonsense, mister. I myself have examined Tituba, Sarah Good, and numerous others who have confessed to dealing with the devil. They have confessed it.
And why not? When they must hang for denying it. There are them that will swear to anything before they'll hang. Have you never thought of that?
I have. I have indeed. You would testify this in court?
I had not reckoned with going to court, but if I must, I will.
Ah, you falter there. I think
I falter nothing. But I may wonder if my story will be credited in such a court. I do wonder on it, sir. When a minister as steady-minded as you will suspicion such a woman that never lied, that cannot lie, the world knows she cannot. I may falter somewhat, sir. I am no fool.
Proctor, let you open with me, for I've heard a thing that troubles me. It is said that you hold no belief that there may even be witches in the world. Is that true, sir?
I know not what I have said. I may have said it. I have wondered if there be witches in the world.
Then you do not believe there are witches in the world.
I have no knowledge of it. The Bible speaks of witches, and I will not deny them.
And you, woman?
I cannot believe it.
Cannot?
Elizabeth, you bewilder
I
him.
cannot believe the devil may own a woman's soul, Mr. Hale, when she is kept an upright way, as I have. I am a good woman. I know it. And if you think that I may only do good work in this world, and yet be secretly bound to Satan, then I must tell you, sir, I do not believe it.
Then you do not believe
If you think that I am one, I say there are none.
You surely do not fly against the gospel. The
I
gospel!
believe the gospel, sir, every word.
Question Abigail Williams about the gospel, not myself.
You do not mean to doubt the gospel, sir. This be a Christian house, sir. A Christian house.
God keep you both. Let the third child be quickly baptized, and go without fail each Sunday into Sabbath prayer. And please, have a quiet, solemn way.
John!
Giles, what's the matter?
You take my wife, Rebecca Nurse.
Rebecca's in the jail.
John, Cheever, come and take him in his wagon. We've only now come from the jail and they won't let us in to see them.
They've surely gone wild now, Mr. Hale.
Reverend Hale, can you not speak to the deputy governor? I'm sure he mistakes these people.
Pray calm yourself, Mr. Nurse.
My wife is the very brick and mortar of the church, Mr. Hale. And Martha Corey, there's not a woman close yet to God than Martha.
How is Rebecca charged, Mr. Nurse?
For murder, she's charged. For the marvelous and supernatural murder of Goody Putnam's babies. What am I to do, Mr. Hale?
Believe me, if Rebecca Nurse is to be tainted, there is nothing left to stop the whole green world from burning. Let you rest upon the justice of the court. The court will send her home, I know it.
You cannot mean she'll be tried in court.
How may such a woman murder children?
Man, remember, an hour before the devil fell, God thought him beautiful in heaven.
I never said my wife were a witch, Mr. Hale. I only said she read in books.
Good evening. Good evening to you, John Proctor.
Why, Mr. Cheever. Good evening.
Good evening, all. Good evening to you, Mr. Hale.
I hope you come not on business of the court.
We do, Proctor. I'm clerk of the court now, you know.
It's a pity, Ezekiel. An honest tailor might have gone to heaven, must burn in hell. You'll burn for this, do you know it?
You know I must do as I am told. You surely know that, Giles. Now, Proctor.
How heavy the law be, all its tonnage I do carry on my back tonight. I have a warrant for your wife.
What say you? A warrant for my wife? You said she were not charged.
I know nothing of it. When was she charged?
I am given 16 warrant tonight, sir, and she is one.
Who charged her?
Why, Abigail Williams charged her.
Abigail Williams. On what proof? What proof?
Mr. Proctor, I have little time. The court bid me search your house, but I like not to search a house. So will you please hand me any poppets that your wife may keep here?
Poppets?
I've never kept no puppets. Not since I were a girl.
Well, I spy a poppet, Goody Proctor.
Oh. Why, this is Mary's.
Would you please to give it to me?
Have the court discovered a text in poppets now?
Do you keep any others in this house?
No, this one either until tonight. What signifies a poppet?
Why, a poppet may signify that she... Now, woman, will you please to come with me?
She will not. Fetch Mary here.
No, I'm forbid to leave her from my sight.
You will leave her out of sight and out of mind, mister. Fetch Mary here, Elizabeth.
What signifies a poppet, Mr. Cheever?
Why, they say it may signify that she... Why, this.
What's there?
Why, it is a needle. Willard, it is a needle.
What signifies a needle?
This go hard with her, Proctor. I had my doubts, Proctor. I had my doubts. But here's calamity. You see it, sir. It is a needle.
Why, what meaning has it?
The girl, the Williams girl, Abigail Williams. She sat to dinner in Reverend Parris's house tonight. And without word nor warning, she falls to the floor. Like a struck beast, he says, and screams a scream a bull would weep to hear. And he goes to save her, and stuck 2 inches in the flesh of her belly, he draw a needle out, and demanding of her how she come to be so stabbed. She testified it were your wife's familiar spirit pushed it in.
Why, she done it herself. I hope you're not taking this for proof, Mr. Hale.
'Tis hard proof. I find here a poppet Goody Proctor keeps. I have found it, sir, and in the belly of that poppet a needle stuck. Why, I tell you true, Proctor, I never warranted to see such proof of hell, but I bid you obstruct me not, for I...
Here now, Mary, how did this puppet come into my house?
What puppet's that, sir?
This puppet. This puppet!
Why, I think it is mine, sir.
It's yours, is it not?
It is, sir.
And how did it come into this house?
Why, I made it in court this morning and give it to Goody Proctor tonight.
Now, sir, do you have it?
Mary Warren, a needle had been found stuck inside this puppet.
I meant no harm by it, sir.
You stuck that needle in yourself.
I believe I did, sir.
Child, you are certain this be your natural memory. Maybe perhaps someone conjures you, even now to say this?
Conjures me? Why, no, sir. I'm entirely myself, I think. Let you ask Susanna Walcott. She saw me sewing it in court. Ask Abby. Abby sat beside me when I made it.
Bid him be gone, mister. Your mind is surely settled now. Bid him out, mister.
Mary Warren, you charge a cruel and cold murder upon Abigail Williams.
Murder! I charge no.
Abigail were found stabbed tonight. A needle were found stuck inside her belly.
And she charges me.
Aye.
Why? The girl is murder. She must be ripped out of the world!
You heard that, sir? Ripped out of the world. Willard, you heard that.
Out with you.
Proctor, you dare not touch the warrant.
Out with you.
You ripped the deputy governor's warrant!
Damn the deputy governor! Out of my house!
Proctor!
Get you gone with them. You are a broken minister.
Proctor, if she is innocent...
If she is innocent, why do you never wonder if Mr. Parris is innocent? Or Abigail? Is the accuser always holy now? Were they born this morning as clean as God's fingers? I'll tell you what's walking Salem. Vengeance is walking Salem. We are what we always were in Salem. But now the little crazy children are jangling the keys to the kingdom. And common vengeance writes the law. This warrants vengeance. And I will not give my wife to vengeance.
Go, John.
You will
John,
not go.
John! I have 9 men outside. You cannot keep her. The law binds me, John. I cannot budge.
You will see her taken.
Proctor, the court...
Pontius Pilate! God will not let you wash your hands of this!
John. I think I must go with them. Mary, there is bread enough for the morning. You will bake it in the afternoon. Help Mr. Proctor as you were his daughter. You owe me that. And much more. When the children wake, speak nothing of witchcraft. It will frighten them.
I will bring you home, Elizabeth. I will bring you soon.
John, bring me soon.
Fear nothing. I will fall like an ocean on that court.
I will fear nothing. Tell the children I have gone to visit someone sick.
Willard! Willard! You will not chain her! Damn you, man! You will not chain her! Off with them! I will not have it! I will not have her chained!
And yet, silent minister, it is fraud. You know it is fraud. What keeps you, man?
I will pay you, Willard. I will surely pay you.
In God's name, John, I cannot help myself. I must chain them all. Now let you keep inside this house till I am gone. Man, are you blind?
Proctor!
Out of my sight!
Charity, Proctor. Charity. What I've heard in her favor, I will not fear to testify in court. God help me. I cannot judge her guilty nor innocent. I know not. Only this consider. The world goes mad, and it profit nothing you lay the cause to the vengeance of a little girl.
You are a coward. Though you be ordained in God's own tears, you are a coward now!
Proctor! I could not think God be so grandly provoked by such a petty cause. The jails are packed. Our greatest judges sit in Salem now, and a hanging is promised. Men, we must look to cause proportionate. Were the murders done in Salem, perhaps, and never brought to light? Abomination. Some secret blasphemy that stinks to heaven? Think on cause, man, and help me discover it. For there is your way. Believe it. There is your only way when such confusion strikes upon this world. Let you counsel among yourselves. Think on this village, and what may have drawn from heaven such a thundering wrath upon you all. I shall pray God open our eyes.
I never heard no murder done in Salem.
Leave me, Francis, leave me.
John, were we lost?
Go home now, Giles. We'll speak about it in the morning.
Right. Let you think on it, eh? I'll come early.
Go now, Giles.
Good night, John.
Mr. Proctor, very likely to let her come home once they're given proper evidence.
You come into court with me, Mary. You will tell it in the court.
Cannot charge murder on Abigail.
You will tell the court how that puppet came into my house and who stuck the needle in it.
She'll kill me for saying that. Abigail charged that she had you, Mr. Proctor.
She's told you.
They've known it, sir. She'll ruin you with it. I know she will.
Good then. Her saintliness is done with. We will slide together into our pit. You will tell the court what you know.
I cannot. They'll turn on me.
Your wife will never die for me. I will bring your guts into your mouth, but that goodness will never die for me.
I cannot do it. I cannot do it.
Make your peace with it.
I cannot do it.
Now hell and heaven grapple on our backs, and all our old pretense is ripped away.
I cannot do
Make
it.
your peace.
I cannot do it.
Peace. It is a providence, and no great change. We are what we always were, but naked now. Aye, naked. And the wind. God's icy wind. Blow.
I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I cannot do it.
Court!
You will keep your seat.
Thomas Putnam is reaching out for land!
Remove that man, Marshal.
You're hearing lies! Lies!
Arrest him, Excellency.
I have evidence! Why don't you hear my evidence? Get off me, damn you, let me go!
Giles! Giles!
To my way, Willard, I bring evidence. They're hanging my wife.
How dare you come roaring to this court? Are you gone daft, Corey?
You are not a Boston judge yet, Hathorne. I'll not have you calling me daft.
Who is this man?
Giles Corey, sir. In a more
I
contentious...
am asked the question, and I am old enough to answer it. My name is Corey, sir. Giles Corey. I have 600 acres in timber in addition. It is my wife you are condemning now.
And how do you imagine to help her cause such contemptuous riot? Now be gone. Your old age alone keeps you out of jail for this.
They tell lies about my wife, sir.
Then you take it upon yourself to decide what this court shall believe and what it shall set aside?
Your Excellency, we mean no disrespect.
Disrespect indeed. It is disruption, mister. This is the highest court of the supreme government of this province. Do you know it?
I only said she read in books. They come and they take her out of my
What
house
books?
for it. It was my third wife. I never had no wife that be so taken with books. Do you understand, sir? I thought to find the cause of it, but who know which I blamed her for. I broke charity with the woman. I broke charity with her.
Excellency, he claims hard evidence for his wife's defense. I think that in all justice
Then
you
let
must...
him submit his evidence in proper affidavit. You are surely aware of our procedure here, Mr. Hale. Take him out.
Come now, Giles.
We're desperate, sir. We come here 3 days now, and we cannot be heard.
Who is this man?
Francis Nurse, Excellency.
His wife's Rebecca that were condemned this morning.
Indeed. I am amazed to find you in such uproar. I have only good report of your character, Mr. Nurse.
I think they must both be arrested in contempt, sir.
Let you write your plea in due time, and I will...
Excellency, we have proof for your eyes. God forbid you shut them to it. The girls, sir, the girls are frauds.
What's what?
We have proof of it, sir. They're all deceiving you.
This is contempt, sir, contempt.
Peace, Judge Hathorne. Do you know who I am, Mr. Nurse?
I surely do, sir. And I think you must be a wise judge to be what you are.
And do you know that near to 400 are in jails from Marblehead to Lynn, and upon my signature? And 72 condemned to hang by that signature.
Excellency, I never thought to say it to such a weighty judge, but you're deceived.
Mary Warren, what are you about here?
She would speak with the deputy governor.
Did you not tell me Mary Warren were sick in bed?
She were, Your Honor. When I go to fetch her to the court last week, she said she were sick.
She has been striving with her soul all week, Your Honor. She comes now to tell the truth to you.
Who is this?
John Proctor, sir. Elizabeth Proctor is my wife.
Beware this man, Your Excellency. This man is mischief.
I think you must hear the girl, sir.
Peace. What would you tell us, Mary Warren?
She never saw no spirits,
Never
sir.
saw no spirits?
Never.
She has signed a deposition, sir.
No. I accept no depositions. Tell me, Mr. Proctor, have you given out this story in the village?
We have not.
They've come to overthrow this court, sir.
I pray you,
man...
Mr. Parris. Mr. Proctor, do you know the entire state of the contention of these trials is that the voice of heaven is speaking through the children?
I know that, sir.
And you, Mary Warren, how came you to cry people out for sending their spirits against you?
Pretense, sir.
I cannot hear you.
It were pretense, she says.
Ah, so the other girls, Susanna Walcott and the others, they are also pretending?
Aye, sir.
Indeed. Now, Mr. Proctor, before I decide whether I shall hear your evidence or not, it is my duty to tell you this. We burn a hot fire here. It melts down all concealment. Are you certain in your conscience, mister, that the evidence you put forth is the truth?
Aye, it is, and you will surely know it.
I take it you came here to declare this revelation in the open court before the public?
I thought I would, aye, with your permission.
Now, sir, what is your purpose in so doing?
Why, I would free my wife, sir.
There lurks nowhere in your heart, nor hidden in your spirit, any desire to undermine this court.
Why, no, sir.
I tell you straight, mister, I have seen marvels in this court. I have seen people choked before my eyes by spirits. I have seen them stuck by pins and slashed by daggers. I have until this moment not the slightest reason to suspect the children may be deceiving me. Do you understand my meaning?
Excellency, does it not strike upon you that so many of these women have lived so long with such an upright reputation?
Do you read the gospel, Mr. Proctor?
I read the gospel.
I think not. Or you should surely know that Cain were an upright man, and yet he did kill Abel.
Aye, God tells us that. But who tells us Rebecca Nurse murdered 7 babies by sending a spirit out of them? It is the children only, and this one will swear she lied to you.
Judge Hathorne.
Aye, she's the one.
Mr. Proctor, this morning your wife sent me a claim in which she states that she is pregnant now.
My wife pregnant?
There be no sign of it.
But if
We've
she says
examined her body.
But if she says she is pregnant, then she must be. That woman will never lie, sir.
She will not?
Never, sir, never.
Mr. Proctor, if I should tell you that I will let her live another month, if she begin to show her natural signs, she will be living yet another year until she is delivered. What say you to that? Come now. You say your only purpose is to save your wife. Good then. She is saved at least this year, and a year is long. What say you, sir? It is done. Will you drop this charge?
I think I cannot.
Then your purpose is somewhat larger.
He's come to overthrow this court, Your Honor.
These are my friends. Their wives
I judge
are
you
also...
not, sir. Sit down. I'm ready to hear your evidence.
I come not to hurt the court, sir. I only...
If you'll forgive me, sir. I've known him all my life. It is a good man, sir.
I'm sure of it, Marshal. Now, Mr. Proctor, what deposition do you have for us? And I beg you be clear, open as the sky, and honest.
I am no lawyer,
The
so...
pure in heart need no lawyers. Proceed as you will.
Will you read this first, sir? It's a sort of testament. The people signing it declare their good opinion of Rebecca and my wife and Martha Corey.
Their good opinion?
These are covenant people, land-holding farmers, members of the church. If you'll notice, sir, they've all known the women many years and never saw no sign they had dealings with the devil.
How many names are here?
91, sir.
These people should be summoned for questioning.
Mr. Danforth, I gave these people my word no harm would come to them for signing this.
This is a clear attack upon the court.
Is every defense an attack upon the court? Can no one...
All innocent and Christian people are happy for the courts in Salem, and these people are gloomy for it. And I think you will want to know from each and every one of them what discontents them with you.
I think they ought to be examined, sir.
It is not necessarily an attack, I think. Yet,
These are all covenanted Christians, sir.
and I'm sure they have nothing to fear. Mr. Cheever, have warrants drawn for all of these. Arrest them for examination. Now, Mr. Proctor, what other information do you have for us? You may sit, Mr. Nurse.
I've brought trouble on these people.
No, old man, you have not hurt these people if they are good of conscience. But you must understand, sir, that a person is either with this court or he must be counted against it. There be no road between. This is a sharp time now, a precise time. We live no longer in the dusky afternoon in which evil mixed itself with good and befuddled the world. Now, by God's grace, the shining sun is up, and them that fear not light will surely praise it. I hope you will be one of those. She's not hardy, I see.
No, she's not. Mary, remember the angel Raphael, what he say to the boy Tobias. Remember it.
Aye.
Do that which is good, and no harm shall come to thee.
Come, men. We wait you.
John, my deposition. Give him mine.
This is Mr. Corey's deposition.
Oh?
What lawyer drew this, Corey?
You know I never hired no lawyer in my life, Hathorne.
It is very well phrased. My compliments. Mr. Putnam, I have here an accusation against you by Mr. Corey. He states that you coldly prompted your daughter to cry witchery upon George Jacobs that is now in jail. What say you to that?
It is a lie.
Mr. Putnam states your charge is a lie. What say you to that?
A fart on Thomas Putnam. That is what I say to that.
What proof do you submit for your charge, sir?
The proof is there. If Jacobs hangs for a witch, he forfeit up his property. That's law. There's none but Putnam with the coin to buy so great a peace. The man is killing his neighbors for their land.
What proof, sir? Proof.
My proof is there. Heard from an honest man who heard Putnam say it. The day his daughter cried out on Jacobs, he said she'd given her an honest gift of land.
And the name of this man?
What name?
The man that gave you this information.
I cannot give you his name.
And why not?
You know well why not. He'll lay in jail if I give his name.
This is contempt of the court, Mr. Danforth.
You will surely tell us the name.
I cannot give you no name, sir. I cannot. I mentioned my wife's name once, and I'll burn in hell long enough for that.
In that
I
case,
stand mute.
In that case, I have no choice but to arrest you in contempt of this court. Do you know that?
I cannot give you no name, sir. I cannot.
You are a foolish old man.
Your Honor, he has a story in confidence.
The devil lives on such confidences. Without confidences, there can be no conspiracy, Your Honor.
I think it must be broken, sir.
Old man, if your informant tells us the truth, let him come here openly like a decent man. But if he hides in anonymity, I must know why. Now, sir, the Central Church and government demand of you the name of him who reported Mr. Thomas Putnam a common murderer.
Excellency,
Mr. Hale?
we cannot blink it more. There is a prodigious fear of this court in the country.
And there's prodigious guilt in the country. Are you afraid to be questioned here?
I may only fear the Lord, sir, but there is a fear in the country nevertheless.
Reproach me not with the fear in the country. There is fear in the country because there is a moving plot to topple Christ in the country.
But it does not follow that everyone accused is a part of it.
No one corrupt man may fear this court, Mr. Hale. None. Mr. Corey, you are under arrest in contempt of this court. Now sit you down and take counsel with yourself.
I'll cut your throat, Putnam. Goddamn, I'll kill you yet.
Peace, Giles, peace. We'll prove ourselves now, we will.
Say nothing more, John. He's only playing you. He means to hang us all.
This is a court of law, mister. I'll have no effrontery here.
Give him, sir, for his old age. Peace, Giles, peace. We'll prove it all now. You cannot weep, Mary. Remember the angel, what he said to the boy. Hold to it. Now there is your rock. This is Mary Warren's deposition. I would ask you to remember, sir, as you read it, that until 2 weeks ago, she was no different than the other children are today. You saw her scream. She howled. She swore familiar spirits attacked her. She even testified that Satan, in the form of women now in jail, tried to win her soul away. And then when she
We
refused...
know all this.
Aye. She swears now that she never saw Satan, nor any spirit vague or clear that Satan may have sent to harm her. And she declares her friends are lying now.
Excellency, a moment. I think this goes to the heart of the matter, sir.
It surely does.
I cannot judge him an honest man. I know him little. But in all justice, sir, a claim so weighty cannot be argued by a farmer. In God's name, sir, stop here. Send him home and let him come again with a lawyer.
Now look you, Mr. Hale.
Excellency, I have signed 72 death warrants. I'm a minister of the Lord, and I dare not take a life without proof so immaculate. No slightest qualm of conscience may doubt it.
Mr. Hale, you surely do not doubt my justice.
I have this morning signed away the soul of Rebecca Nurse. I'll not conceal it. I tell you true, sir. My hand shakes as yet with the wound. This argument that lawyers present to you.
Let you put your heart to rest. For deposition, Mr. Proctor.
I should like to
Mr.
question...
Parris, I bid you be silent! Sit you down.
Mr. Proctor, you sit there. Mr. Cheever, go into the court and bring the children here. Mary Warren, how came you to this turnabout? Has Mr. Proctor threatened you for this deposition?
No, sir.
Has he ever threatened you?
No, sir.
Has he threatened you?
No, sir.
So you're telling me that you sat in my court, callously lying when you knew that people would hang by your evidence? Answer me.
I did, sir.
How were you instructed in your life? Do you not know that God damns all liars? Or is it now that you lie?
No, sir. I am with God now.
You're with God now.
Aye, sir.
Well, I tell you this. You're either lying now or you were lying in court. And in either case, you have committed perjury and you will go to jail for it. You cannot lightly say you lied, Mary. Do you know that?
I cannot lie no more. I am with God. I am with God.
Your friend Mary Warren has given us a deposition, in which she swears that she never saw familiar spirits, apparitions, nor any manifest of the devil. She claims as well that none of you have seen these things either. Now, children, this is a court of law. The law, based upon the Bible, and the Bible writ by Almighty God, forbid the practice of witchcraft and describes death as the penalty thereof. But likewise, children, the law and Bible damn all liars and bearers of false witness. Now then, it does not escape me that this deposition may have been devised to blind us. It may well be that Mary Warren has already been conquered by Satan, who sends her here now to distract our sacred purpose. If so, her neck will break for it. But if she speak true, I bid you now drop your guile and confess your pretense, for a quick confession will go easier for you. Abigail Williams, come forward. Is there any truth in this?
No, sir.
Children, a very augur bit will now be turned into your souls until your honesty is proved. Will any of you change your positioning now, or do you force me to hard questioning?
I have not to change, sir. She lies.
You would still go on with this?
Aye, sir.
A poppet were discovered in Mr. Proctor's house, stabbed by a needle. Mary Warren claims that you sat beside her in court when she made it, that you saw her make it, and that you witnessed her stab the needle into it herself for safekeeping. What say you to that?
It is a lie, sir.
While you worked for Mr. Proctor, did you ever see poppets in that house?
Goody Proctor always kept puppets.
My wife never kept no puppets, sir. Mary Warren confesses it was her puppet.
Your Excellency.
Mr. Cheever?
When I go to speak with Goody Proctor, she said she never kept no puppets. Yet she did keep puppets when she were a girl.
She has not been a girl these 15 years, Your Honor.
But a puppet will keep 15 years, will it not?
It will keep if it is kept. But Mary Warren never saw no puppets in my house, nor anyone else.
But why could there not have been puppets hid where no one ever saw them?
There also might be a five-legged dragon hidden in my house, but no one ever saw it.
We are here, Your Honor, precisely to discover what no one has ever seen.
Mr. Danforth, what profit Mary Warren to turn herself about now? What may she gain but hard questioning and worse?
You are charging Abigail Williams with a marvelous cool plot to murder. Do you understand that?
I do, sir. I believe she means to murder.
This child would murder your wife?
It is not a child, sir. Now hear me, sir. In the sight of this congregation, she were twice this year put out of meeting house for laughter during prayer.
What's this? Laughter during...
Excellency.
Do you deny it, Mr. Parris?
I do believe it happened once. She is sometimes silly, but she is solemn now.
Aye, she is solemn now, and goes to hang people.
Quiet, man!
Surely you'd have no bearing on the question, sir. He charges contemplation of murder.
Aye, but it strikes hard upon me that she would laugh during prayer. Continue, Mr. Proctor.
Mary, now tell the governor how you danced in the woods.
Your Excellency, Since I come to say them, this man is blackening my
In
name.
a moment, sir. What if this dancing?
Mr. Proctor.
Abigail leads the girls to the woods, Your Honor, and they have danced there naked.
Your Honor, this...
Mr. Parris discovered them there in the dead of night. There's the child she is.
Mr. Parris!
I can only say, sir, that I never saw any of them naked. But this man...
You discovered them dancing in the woods? Abigail?
Excellency, when I first arrived from Beverly, Mr. Parris told me that.
Do you deny it, Mr. Parris?
I do not, sir. But I never saw any of them naked.
But she have danced!
Aye, sir.
Excellency, will you permit me?
Pray, proceed.
You say you never saw no spirits, Mary. Were never threatened or afflicted by any manifest of the devil or the devil's agents?
No, sir.
And yet, when people accused of witchery confronted you in court, you would faint, saying their spirits came out of their bodies and choked you.
That were pretense, sir.
I cannot hear you.
Pretense, sir.
But you did turn cold, did you not? I myself picked you up many times and your skin were icy. Mr. Danforth,
I saw that many times.
She only pretended to faint, Your Honor. They're all marvelous pretenders.
Then can't you pretend to faint now?
No.
Why not? There are no spirits attacking her, for none in this room is accused of witchcraft. Let her pretend she is attacked now. Let her turn herself cold now. Let her faint! Faint!
Faint?
I faint! Prove to us how you can faint for our own will, as you claim.
I cannot faint now, sir.
Can you not pretend it?
I have no sense of it now.
Why? What is lacking now?
I cannot tell, sir.
Might it be that here we have no afflicting spirit loose, but in the court there were some?
I never saw no spirits!
Then see no spirits now, and prove to us that you can faint by your own will, as you claim.
I cannot do it!
Then you will confess, will you not? Attacking spirits made you faint.
No, sir!
Your Excellency, this is a trick to blind the court.
It's not a trick! I used to faint because I thought I saw spirits.
Thought you saw them?
But I did not, Your Honor.
How could you think you saw them unless you saw them?
I cannot tell how, but I did. I heard the other girls screaming, and you, Your Honor, you seemed to believe them, and we were only sport in the beginning, but then the whole world cried spirits, spirits, and I promise you, Mr. Danforth, I only thought I saw them, but I did not.
Surely Your Excellency is not taken by this simple lie.
Abigail Williams, I bid you now search your hearts and tell me this, and beware of it, child. To God, every soul is precious, and his vengeance is terrible on them that take life without cause. Is it possible, child, that these spirits you've seen are some illusion only? Some deception that may cross your mind when...
Why, this is a base question, sir.
Child, I would have you consider it.
I have been hurt, Mr. Danforth. I have seen my blood running out. I've been near to murdered every day because I've done my duty pointing out the devil's people. And this is my reward? To be mistrusted, denied, questioned like...
Child! I do not mistrust you.
Let you beware, Mr. Danforth. Think you to be so mighty that the power of hell may not turn your wits. Beware of it. There is...
What is it, child?
I know not. A wind, a cold wind has come. Abby!
Your Honor, I freeze.
They're pretending, Mr. Danforth.
She is cold, Your Honor.
Mary, do you send this shadow on me?
Lord, save me! I freeze. I freeze. Abby, don't do that!
Mary Ward, do you witcher? I say, do you send your spirits out?
Let me go, Mr. Proctor! I cannot do it! I cannot!
Oh, Heavenly Father, take away these shadows!
How dare you call heaven?
Man, what do you...
It is a whore.
Now, here!
You charge!
Mr. Danforth, he's lying.
Mark her. Now she'll suck a scream to stab.
You approve this! This will not pass!
I have known her, sir. I have known her.
You are a lecher?
John, you cannot...
No, Francis. It is true. It is true. But you will believe me, sir. Man will not cast away his good name, sir. You
In what
surely
time?
know that.
In what time? In what place?
In the proper place, where my beasts are bedded. 8 months now, sir. It is 8 months. She used to serve me in my house. Man may think God sleeps, but God sees everything. I know it now. I beg you, sir, see her for what she is. My wife, my dear good wife, took this girl soon after and put her out on the high road. And being what she is, a lump of vanity, sir. Forgive me, sir. She thinks to dance with me on my wife's grave. And well she might! For I thought of her softly. God help me, I lusted. And there was a promise in such sweat. But it is a whore's vengeance, and you must see it. I set myself entirely in your hands. You must see it now. My wife is innocent, except she know a whore when she see one.
You deny every scrap of this?
If I must answer that, sir, I will leave and I will not come back again.
She does not deny it, Mr. Danforth. She does not deny it.
You will remain where you are. Mr. Parris, go into the court and bring Goodwife Proctor out. Mr. Parris, and tell her not one word of what's been spoken here. Now we shall touch the bottom of this swamp. Your wife, you say, is an honest woman?
In her life, sir, she have never lied. There are them that cannot sing, them that cannot weep. My wife cannot lie.
And when she put this girl out of your house, she put her out for a harlot.
Aye.
And knew her for a harlot.
She knew her for a harlot.
Good then. And child, if she tell me it were for harlotry, let God spread his mercy on you. Halt! Turn your back. Turn your back. You do likewise. Now let neither of you turn to face Goody Proctor. No one in this room is to speak one word or raise a gesture, aye or nay. Enter. Mr. Cheever, you will report this testimony in all exactness. Are you ready, sir?
Ready, Your Honor.
Come here, woman. You will look at me only and not at your husband. In my eyes only.
Good, sir.
You're given to understand that at one time you dismissed your servant, Abigail Williams?
That is true, sir.
For what cause did you dismiss her? You look into my eyes only and not at your husband. The answer is in your memory, and you need not help to give it to me. Why did you dismiss Abigail Williams?
She dissatisfied me and my husband.
In what way dissatisfied you?
She were...
Woman, look at me! Was she slovenly? Lazy? What disturbance did she cause?
Your Honor, in that time I was sick, you see, and my husband is a good and righteous man. He is never drunk, as some are, nor wasting his time at the shovel board, but always at his work. But in my sickness, you see, sir, I were a long time sick after my last baby, and I thought I saw my husband somewhat turning from me. And this girl...
Look at me!
Hi, Sir Abigail Williams.
What of Abigail Williams?
I came to think he fancied her. And so one night I lost my wits, I think, and put her out on the high road.
Your husband, did he indeed turn from you?
My husband is a goodly man,
Then
sir.
he did not turn from you. Look at me! To your own knowledge, has John Proctor ever committed the crime of lechery? Answer my question. Is your husband a lecher?
No, sir.
Remove her!
Elizabeth, tell the truth, Elizabeth!
She has spoken. Remove her.
Elizabeth, I have confessed it.
Oh, John!
She only thought to save my name.
Excellency, it is a natural lie to tell. I beg you, stop now. Stop now before another is condemned. I may shut my conscience to it no more. Private vengeance is working its way through this testimony. From the beginning, this man has struck me as true. I believe him now. By my oath to heaven, I believe, and I pray we call back his wife.
She spoke nothing of lechery, and this man lies.
I believe him. I cannot turn my face from it no more. This girl has always struck me as false. She...
You will not be gone, I say!
What is it, child? What's there? Girls, why do you...
It's on the beam! Behind the rafter!
Where?
Why do you come, yellow bird?
Where's the bird? I see no bird.
My face? My face?
Mr. Hale.
Be quiet.
Do you see a bird?
Be quiet.
But God made my face. You cannot want to tear my face. Envy is a deadly sin, Mary. Envy! Oh, Mary, this is a black art to change your shape. No, I cannot stop my mouth. It's God's work I do. Help me, I'm here!
You're pretending.
Oh, please, Mary, don't come down.
Her claws! She's stretching her claws!
Lies!
Mary, please don't hurt me! I'm not hurting her!
Why does she see this vision?
You cannot believe them!
She sees nothing! She sees nothing!
Abby, you mustn't!
Abby, you mustn't!
I'm here! I'm here!
I'm here! I'm here!
Mary Warren, draw back your spirits out of you.
Mr. Danforth!
Mr. Danforth!
Have you compacted with the devil? Have you?
Never! 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 Never!
Why can I only repeat you?
Give me a whip. I'll stop it.
They're sporting! They're sporting! Abby, stop it! Abby, stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
A little while ago you were afflicted. Now it seems you afflict others. Where did you find this power?
I have no power! I have no power!
They're gulling you, mister.
Why did you turn about this past 2 weeks? You've seen the devil, have you not?
Mary, God damns all liars.
You've seen the devil. You have made compact with Lucifer, have you not?
God damns all liars, Mary.
I cannot hear you. What do you say?
Remember the
Well,
angel
confess
of hell.
yourself.
Do that
Are you
which
right?
and no harm shall come to
Do you know who I am? I say you will hang if you do not open me.
The wings! Her wings are spreading! Oh, Mary, please don't! Don't! She's going to come down! She's walking the beam! Look out! She's coming down!
Mary, now tell the devil.
No, don't touch me! Don't touch me!
Mary.
You're the devil's man!
Praise God!
Mary, how?
I'll not hang with you. I love God. I love God!
He bid you do the devil's work?
You wake me every night and every day. The sign! The signs!
Sign what?
The devil's book. He come with a book.
My name! He want my name! I'll murder you, he says, if my wife hangs. We must go and overthrow the court, he says.
Mr. Hale.
He wake me every night. His eyes were like coals. His fingers claw my neck, and I sighed. I sighed.
Excellency, this child has gone wild.
Mary.
No!
Mary.
No! Don't touch me! I go your way no more. I love God. I bless God. Oh, Abby, I'll never hurt you more.
What are you? You're combined with Antichrist, are you not? I have seen your power, mister. You will not deny it.
This is not witchcraft. These girls are frauds. You condemn an honest man.
I will have nothing from you, Mr. Hale. Will you confess yourself befouled with hell? Or do you keep that black allegiance yet? What say you?
I say, God is dead.
Hear it! Hear it!
A fire is burning. I hear the boot of Lucifer. I see his filthy face. And it is my face, and yours, Danforth. For them that quail to bring men out of ignorance, as I have quailed, and as you quail now, when you know, in all your black hearts, that this be fraud! God damns our kinds especially. And we will burn. We will burn together!
Cheever, take him and Coy with him to the jail.
I denounce these proceedings. I quit this court.
You are pulling heaven down and raising up the whore!
Mr. Hale! Mr. Hale! Sarah, good. Wake up. Tituba.
Majesty, coming. Tituba, he's here. His Majesty's come.
Go to the north cell. This place is wanted now.
That don't look to me like His Majesty. Look to me like the Marshal.
Get along with you now. Clear this place.
Oh, Marshal, is it you? I thought for sure you'd be the devil coming for us. Can I have a sip of cider for me going away?
And where are you off to, Sarah?
We going to Barbados. Soon the devil get here with the feathers and the wings.
Oh, the happy voyage to you.
A pair of bluebirds singing southerly, the two of us. So it'll be a grand transformation, Marshal.
Oh, you best give me that back. I could never make it out the door. Come along now.
I'll speak to him for you if you desire to come along, Marshal.
No, I'd not refuse it, Tituba. It is the proper day to fly into hell.
Oh, it ain't no hell in Barbados. Devil, him be pleasure man in Barbados. Him be singing and dancing in Barbados. You folks, you riles him up round here. It'd be too cold round here for that old boy. He frees his soul in Massachusetts. But in Barbados, him be just as sweet and... Yes, sir, that's him, Sarah!
I'm here, Majesty.
The deputy governor's arrived.
Come along now. Come along.
No, he coming for me. I'm going home.
That ain't Satan. Just a poor old deputy. Get along with you now.
Take me home, devil. Take me home. Take me home, devil. Take me home.
Good morning, Majesty.
Where is Mr. Parris?
I'll fetch him.
Marshal, when did Reverend Hale arrive?
Oh, it were toward midnight, I think.
What is he about here?
No, he goes with them that will hang, sir, and he prays with them. He's with Goody Nurse now, and Mr. Parris with him.
Indeed. That man have no right to enter this place. Marshal, why have you let him in?
Why, Mr. Parris command me, sir. I cannot deny him.
Are you drunk, Marshal?
No. It is a bitter night here, and I have no fire here.
Fetch Mr. Parris.
Aye, sir.
There's a prodigious stench in this place.
I have only now cleared the people out of it for you.
Beware hard drink, Marshal.
Aye, sir.
Let you question Hale, Excellency. I should not be surprised if you've reached an Andover lately.
We'll come to that. Speak nothing of Andover. Parris prays with him. That's strange.
I think sometimes Parris has a mad look these days.
Mad?
I met him yesterday coming out of his house, and I bid him good morning, and he wept and went his way. I think it is not well a village sees him so unsteady.
Perhaps he have some sorrow.
I think it'd be the cows, sir.
The cows?
There are so many cows wandering the high roads now that their masters are in the jails, and much disagreement about who they will belong to now. I know Mr. Parris be arguing with farmers all yesterday, and there's great contention. Contention make him weep, sir, for it were always a man that weep for contention.
Oh, good morning, sir. Thank you for coming. I beg your pardon waking you so early. Good morning, Judge Proctor.
Reverend Hale have no right to enter this...
Excellency, a moment.
Do you leave him alone with the prisoners?
What is he about here?
Excellency, hear me. It is a providence. Reverend Hale have returned to bring Rebecca Nurse to God.
He bids her confess?
A moment. Rebecca have not given me a word this 3 months since she came. Now she sits with him and her sister and Martha Corey and 2 or 3 others, and he pleads with them to confess their crimes and save their lives.
Why, this is indeed a providence. And they soften. They soften.
Not yet, sir. Not yet. But I thought to summon you, sir, that we may think on whether it be not wise to... There's news, sir, that the court must reckon with. My niece, I believe she has vanished.
Vanished?
I had thought to advise you of it earlier in the week, but...
Why? How long is she gone?
This will be the 3rd night, sir. Mercy Lewis is gone, too.
I will send a party for them. Where may they be?
Excellency, I believe they may be aboard a ship. My daughter tells me now she heard them speaking of ships last week, and tonight I discover my strongbox is broken into.
She have robbed you?
31 pound is gone. I am penniless.
Mr. Parris, you're a brainless man!
Excellency, it profit nothing that you should blame me. I cannot think that they will run off except they fear to keep in Salem anymore, since the news of Andover have broken...
Andover is remedied. The court returns there on Friday and will resume examinations.
I'm sure of it, sir. But the rumor here speaks rebellion in Andover.
There is no rebellion in Andover!
I tell you what is said here, sir. Andover have thrown at the court, they say, and will have no part in witchcraft. There be a faction here feeding on that news. And I tell you true, sir, I fear there will be a riot here.
Riot? Why at every execution I have seen naught but high satisfaction in the town?
Judge Hathorne, it were another sort that hang till now. Rebecca Nurse is no Bridget that lived 3 years with Bishop before she married him. John Proctor is no Isaac Ward that drank his family to ruin. Let Rebecca stand upon the gibbet and send up some righteous prayer, and I fear she'll wake a vengeance on you.
Excellency, she's condemned a witch. The court
Pray you. How do you propose then?
Excellency, I would postpone these hangings for a time.
There will be no postponement.
Now that Mr. Hale's returned, there is hope, I think. For if he brings even one of these to God, it surely damns the others in the public eye, and none may doubt more than they are all linked to hell. That way, unconfessed and claiming innocence, doubts are multiplied. Many honest people will weep for them, and our good purpose is lost in their tears.
Cheever, give me the list.
It cannot be forgot, sir, that when I summon the congregation for John Proctor's excommunication, hardly 30 people come to hear it. That speak of discontent, I think.
There will be no postponement!
Excellency!
Now, sir, which of these, in your opinion, may be brought to God? I myself will strive with him until dawn.
There is not sufficient time till
I shall
dawn.
do my utmost! Which of them do you have hope for?
Excellency. A dagger.
What do you say?
Tonight, when I opened the door to leave my house, a dagger clattered to the ground. You cannot hang this sort. There is danger for me. I dare not step outside at night.
Accept my congratulations, Reverend Hale. We are gladdened to see you return to your good work.
You must pardon them. They will not budge.
You misunderstand, sir. I cannot pardon these if 12 are already hanged for the same crime. It's not just.
Rebecca will not confess.
The sun will rise in a few minutes, Excellency. I must have more time.
Now hear me, and beguile yourselves no more. I will not receive a single plea for pardon or postponement. Them that will not confess will hang. 12 have already been executed, and the names of these 7 are given out, and the village expects to see them die at dawn. Now, postponement speaks of floundering on my part. Reprieve or pardon, they cast doubt upon the guilt of them that died till now. But when I speak God's law, I will not crack its voice with whimpering. If retaliation is your fear, know this. I should hang 10,000 that dare to rise up against the law, and an ocean of salt tears could not melt the resolution of the statutes. Now draw yourselves up like men and help me, as you are bound by heaven to do. Have you spoken with them all, Mr. Hale?
All but Proctor. He's in the dungeon.
What's Proctor's way now?
He sits like some great bird, sir. You'd not know he'd lived, except he will take food from time to time.
His wife. His wife must be well on with the child now.
She is, sir.
What think you, Mr. Parris? You have closer knowledge of this man. Might her presence soften him?
It is possible, sir. He have not laid eyes on her these 3 months. I should summon her.
Is he yet adamant? Has he struck at you again?
Why, he cannot, sir. He is chained to the wall now.
Fetch Goody Proctor to me, and let you bring him up.
Aye.
Excellency, if you postpone a week and publish to the town that you're striving for their confessions, that speaks a mercy on your part, not faltering.
Mr. Hale, as God have not empowered me like Joshua to stop the sun from rising, so I cannot withhold from them the perfection of their punishment.
If you think God wills you to raise rebellion, Mr. Danforth, you are mistaken.
You've heard rebellion spoken of in Salem?
Excellency, orphans wander from house to house. Abandoned cattle bellow on the high road, and the stink of rotting crop hangs everywhere. And no man knows when the harlot's cry will end his life. And yet, you wonder if rebellion has spoken. Better you should marvel that it not burn your province.
Mr. Hale, have you preached in Andover this month?
Thank God they have no need for me over in Andover.
You baffle me, sir. Why have you returned?
Why, it's simple. I have come to do the devil's work. I have come to counsel Christians they should belie themselves. There is blood on my head. Can you not see the blood on my head?
Hush!
Goody Proctor, I hope you're hearty.
I am yet 6 months before my time.
Pray. Be at ease. We come not for your life. We... Mr. Hale, will you speak with the woman?
Proctor, your husband is marked to hang this morning.
I have heard it.
You know, do you not, that I have no connection with the court? I wish to save your husband's life, for if he is taken, I count myself for his murder. Do you understand me?
What do you want of me?
Goody Proctor, I've gone these last 3 months like the Lord into the wilderness. I've sought a Christian way, for damnation is doubled on a minister who counsels men to lie.
It is no lie. You cannot speak of lies.
It is a lie. They are innocent.
No more! No more. I'll hear no more of that.
Let you not mistake your duty as I mistook my own. I came to this village like a bridegroom to his beloved, bearing gifts of high religion. The very crowns of holy law I brought. And what I touched with my bright confidence, it died. And where I turned the eye of my great faith, blood flowed up. Beware, Goody Proctor. Cleave to no faith when faith brings blood. It is mistaken law that leads you to sacrifice. Life, woman. Life is God's most precious gift. No principle, however glorious, may justify the taking of it. I beg you, woman, prevail upon your husband to confess. Let him give his lie. Quail not before God's judgment in this, for it well may be God damns a liar lest any were to throw away his life for pride. Will you plead with him? I cannot think he will listen to another.
I think that be the devil's argument.
Woman, before the laws of God, we are as swine. We cannot read his will.
I cannot dispute you, sir. I lack learning for it.
Goody Proctor, you were not summoned here for disputation. Be there no wifely tenderness within you? He will die with the sunrise. Your husband. Do you understand it? What say you? Will you contend with him? Are you stone? I tell you true, woman, had I no other proof of your unnatural life, your dry eyes would be sufficient evidence that you delivered up your soul to hell. A very ape would weep at such calamity. Have the devil dried up any tear of pity in you? Take her out. It profit nothing she should speak with him.
Let me speak with him, Excellency.
You'll strive with him?
Will you plead for his confession, or will you not?
I promise nothing. Let me speak with him.
Pray. Leave them, Excellency.
Mr. Proctor, you have been notified, have you not? Come, man. I see light in the sky. Let you take counsel with your wife, and let God help you turn your back on hell.
Mr. Proctor, if you desire a cup of cider, I'm sure I... God lead you now.
You have been chained.
Why? The child?
It grows.
There was no word of the boys.
They're well. Rebecca's Daniel keeps them.
You've not seen them.
I have not.
You are a marvel, Elizabeth. They come for my life now.
I know it.
None have yet confessed.
There be many confessed.
Who are they?
There be 100 or more, they say. Goody Ballard is one. Isaiah Goodkind is one. There be many.
Rebecca?
Not Rebecca. She is 1 foot in heaven now. Naught may hurt her more.
And Giles?
You have not heard of it.
I hear nothing where I am kept.
Giles is dead.
When were you hanged?
He were not hanged. He would not answer aye or nay to his indictment. For if he denied the charge, they'd hang him surely and auction out his property. So he stand mute and died Christian under the law. And so his sons will have his farm. It is the law.
For he cannot be condemned a wizard without having answered the indictment aye or nay.
Then how does he die?
They press him, John.
Press.
Great stones they lay upon his chest until he plead aye or nay. They say he did give but 2 words. More weight, he says, and died.
More weight.
Aye, 'twere a fearsome man, Giles Corey.
I've been thinking I would confess to them. What would you say if I would give them that?
I cannot judge you, John.
What would you have me do?
As you will, I would have it. I want you living, John, that's sure.
And Giles's wife, have she confessed?
She will not.
It is pretense, Elizabeth.
What is?
I cannot mount the gibbet like a saint. It is fraud. I am not that man. My honesty is broke, Elizabeth. I am no good man. Nothing spoiled by giving him this lie that would not rotten long before.
And yet you've not confessed till now that speak goodness in you.
Spite. Spite only keeps me silent. It is hard to give a lie to dogs. But have your forgiveness, Elizabeth.
It is not for me to give, John. I am...
Have you see some honesty in it? Let them that never lied now die to keep their souls. For me, it is a pretense, a vanity that will not blind God nor keep my children out of the wind. What say you?
John, it come to naught that I should forgive you. Will you forgive yourself? It is your soul, John. Only be sure of this, for I know it now. Whatever you will do, it is a good man that does it. I have read my heart this 3 month, John. I have sins of my own to count. It needs a cold wife to prompt lechery.
Enough.
Better you should know me.
I'll not have it.
You take my sins upon you, John.
No, I take my own. I
count myself so plain, so poorly made, that no honest love would ever come to me. Suspicion kissed you when I did. I never knew how I should say my love. It were a cold house I kept.
What say you, Proctor? The sun is soon up.
Do what you will, but let none be your judge, for there is no higher judge under heaven than Proctor is. Forgive me, John. I never knew such goodness in the world.
I want my life.
You'll confess yourself?
I will have my life.
God be praised. It is a providence. He will confess. Proctor will confess.
Why do you cry it? It is evil, is it not? It is evil.
I cannot judge you, John. I cannot.
And who will judge me? God in heaven. What is John Proctor? What is John Proctor? I think it is honest. I think so. I am not saint. Let Rebecca go like a saint. For me it is fraud.
I am not your judge. I cannot be.
Would you ever give them such a lie? Say it. Would you ever give them this? You would not. If tongues of fire were singeing you, you would not. It is evil. Good then. It is evil, and I do it.
Praise to God, men. Praise to God.
You will be blessed in heaven for this. Now then, let us have it. Are you ready, Mr. Cheever?
Ready, sir.
Why must it be written?
Why, for the good instruction of the village, mister. This we shall post upon the church door. Where is the marshal?
Willard! Hurry!
Now then, will you speak slowly and directly to the point of Mr. Cheever's sake? Mr. Proctor, have you seen the devil in your life? Come, man. There's light in the sky. The town waits at the scaffold. I would give out this noose. Did you see the devil?
I did.
Praise God!
And when he comes to you, what were his demand? Did he bid you do his work upon the earth?
He did.
And you bound yourself to his service? Ah, Rebecca Nurse. Come in, woman.
John, you were both NA.
Courage, man. Courage. Let her witness your good example so she herself may come to God. Now hear it, goody nurse. Say on, Mr. Proctor. Did you bind yourself to the devil's service?
Why, John!
I did.
Now, woman, you surely see it profit nothing to keep this conspiracy any further. Will you confess yourself with him?
God send his mercy on you.
Take her out!
I say, will you confess yourself, goody nurse?
Why, it is a lie! It is a lie! How may I damn myself? I cannot.
Mr. Proctor, when the devil came to you, did you see Rebecca Nurse in his company? Come, man, take courage. Did you ever see her with the devil?
No.
Did you ever see her sister, Mary Eastie, with the devil?
No, I did not.
Did you ever see Martha Corey with the devil?
I did not.
Did you ever see anyone with the devil?
I did not.
Proctor, you mistake me. I'm not empowered to trade your life for a lie. You have most certainly seen some person with the devil. Mr. Proctor, a score of people have already testified they saw this woman with the devil.
Then it is proved. Why must I say
Why
it?
must you say it? Why, you should rejoice to say your soul is purged of any love for hell.
They think to go like saints. I like not to spoil their names.
Do you think they go like saints? Look, you, mister, I think you mistake your duty here. It matters nothing what she thought. She is convicted of unnatural murder of children, and you for sending your spirit out upon Mary Warren. Your soul alone is the issue here, mister, and unless you prove its whiteness, you cannot live in Christian country. Now then, will you tell me what persons conspired with you in the devil's company? To your knowledge, was Rebecca Nurse ever...
I speak my own sins. I cannot judge another. I have no tongue for it.
Excellency, it is enough he confessed himself. Let him sign it. Let him sign it.
It is a great service, sir. It is a weighty name. It will strike up the village that I confess. I beg you, let him sign it. The sun is up, Excellency!
Come then. Sign your testimony. Mr. Cheever, take it to him. Come, man. Sign it.
You have all witnessed it. It is enough.
You will not sign it?
You have all witnessed it. What more is needed?
Do you sport with me? You will sign your name, or it is no confession, mister. Your second name, man.
Praise be to the Lord.
If you please, sir.
No.
Mr. Proctor, I must have...
No. I have signed it. You have seen me. It is done. You have no need for this.
But Proctor, the village must have proof that...
Damn the village! I confess to God, and God has seen my name on this. It is enough.
No, sir. It is not enough.
You came to save my soul, did you not? Here, I have signed it. It is done. You have no need for this. I have confessed myself. It is enough.
You have not confessed
I have confessed myself! Is there no good penitence but it be public? God does not need my name nailed to the church. God sees my name. God knows how black my sins are.
Mr. Proctor.
You will not use me. I am no Saragood or Tituba. I am John Proctor. You will not use me. It is no part of salvation that you should use me.
I do not wish to use you.
I have 3 children. How may I teach them to walk like men in the world? And I sold my friend.
You have not sold your
Beguile
friend.
me not! I blacken all of them. When this is nailed to the church, the day they hang for silence.
Mr. Proctor, I must have good and legal
You are
proof.
the High Court. Your word is good enough. Tell them I confess myself. Say Proctor broke to his knees and wept like a woman. Say what you will,
It's the
but my
same, is it
name-
not? If I report to it, or if you sign to it?
No. What others say and what I sign to is not the same.
Why? Do you mean to deny that confession when you were free?
I mean to deny nothing.
Then tell me, Mr. Proctor, why you will not let...
Because it is my name! Because I cannot have another in my life! Because I lie and sign myself to lies! Because I am not worth the dust on the feet of them that hang. How may I live without my name? I have given you my soul. Leave me my name!
Is that document a lie? If it is a lie, I will not accept it. What say you? I will not deal in lies, mister. You will give me your honest confession in my hand, or I cannot keep you from the rope. Which way do you go, mister? Marshal!
Proctor! Proctor!
Man, you will hang, you cannot!
Pray God it speaks some goodness in me. Give them no tear. Show them a heart of stone. And sink them with it.
Let you fear nothing. There is another judgment waits us all.
Hang them high over the town! Whoever weeps for these weeps for corruption. Take them!
Come, man.
I have not had my breakfast.
Will you go to him? Goody Proctor, there is yet time! Proctor! Proctor!
Woman, plead with him. It is pride. It is vanity. Be his helper. What profit him to bleed? Shall the dust praise him? Shall the worms declare his truth? Go to him. Take his shame away.
He have his goodness now. God forbid I take it from him.